Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're wondering why I'm stretching, it's because it's freaking early in the morning. I just got done with work, but hey, here we are. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about getting your holiday planning on. Okay. I feel like everybody knows we need to be holiday planning. We all know that. And we all know that we need to do it early. But sometimes I think that something that can hold people back from doing this and moving forward and getting the ball rolling is because we think that planning has to be like overwhelming. And let's just admit it. We were traumatized by Christmas last year and we just need like a minute to like gather ourselves to prepare for that. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a simple strategy that you can use to kind of get a head start and to kind of get the ball rolling with your holiday planning. And basically that's using somebody else's framework. That's using somebody else's tried and true checklist, so that literally all you have to do is fill in the blank. Gosh, like our brains are literally in like 50,000 places at once, especially if you're a busy mom. And so it's totally understandable how it's just kind of thinking that that's just one more thing for me to think about. It's not right here, it's not present, so I'm going to save it for later. But I just want you to know, I think you already know that if you want things to feel peaceful, if you want things to feel easy in December, that we gotta start now. We gotta start now. So yeah, I just want to share with you guys a journal that I used last year that worked for me really well. That really did a lot of the heavy lifting for me when it came to planning. And because I felt like I had such a huge head start and I literally was just filling in boxes and bubbles, it kind of encouraged me to get started. Before I show you guys how to do this, how to use somebody else's framework, or at least the simple method that I like to use, I want to just go ahead and solidify how this is going to help you, just in case you're doubting me today. Number one, it's going to expose some holes in your planning, girl, because that's one thing that I like about doing this, and I like doing it early. It's so simple. And as you're going through, when you run into a little kink or when you're trying to fill out a box and you're like, wait a minute, I actually don't know about that. Or I don't know what I'm going to do here. I haven't really thought about that. I'm just saying, isn't it much better to know about that kind of stuff in October and November than on December 20th? Come on, girl. Okay, so it is, it is annoying to go through and be like, I haven't thought about that. I need to spend time thinking about that. But it's also really nice when you have time to think about stuff. And sometimes when you just like kind of pose the question to your brain starts to get, or your brain's wheels gets spinning, and you'll be kind of thinking about solutions and ideas as you're going about through your day. So sometimes it's just about exposing where those holes are, exposing where those kinks are. And so your brain can be allowed to be creative and fill in those gaps. And it's really nice to be creative when you have time and it's not like 5 days before Christmas. I'm just saying. Another reason that this is going to be helpful for you, and that I highly encourage that you do it, is because something about seeing a plan on paper for me just cuts out a lot of noise. Let's admit it, there's literally millions of different ways that we can approach Christmas. There's so many different options that we can do in terms of decoration. There's so many traditions we could choose from. There's so many meals that we could choose from, okay? And it's enough to make somebody lose their mind. And so for me, when I write stuff on paper, it just has a way of blasting out all the noise. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm focusing on. And like all the other stuff, that's great, but I don't need to like have that all in my brain. I don't need to be consumed by all the options because this is what I'm doing. And so something about writing it on paper, narrowing down your focus, for me eliminates a lot of stress and it eliminates a lot of overwhelm. And the last reason that you really want to get on this is because what I hope that it will do for you, which is totally what it did for me, is that it will help you see that there are little things that you could be doing right now to give yourself a leg up. I don't know how many times you guys have experienced this where you started a project and you saved all the little tiny tasks for the end. You're like, oh, that'll only take 2 minutes. I'll do it later. Oh, that'll only take just a few seconds. I will do it later, just for later to come. And you find that those little tiny micro tasks, they add up. And when you're on a time crunch, they become really annoying and they induce a lot of anxiety. I don't know if you guys have ever done your projects like that. I have. I'm guilty of it. So I'm just going to go ahead in a minute. And I have learned over the years that those little tiny things, they do make a difference. And if you can get them off of your to-do list early, do it. Because the more little tiny things you have off of your list, it just makes it so much easier toward the end to focus on what's important and not be distracted by all the little things. And so when you go through this, you're going to start to see like there are little tiny things that I could be doing right now. Sometimes when people think about planning for Christmas or planning, they think like they have to do like all the things when they plan early. Like people associate planning early for Christmas with full blown pulling out the Christmas tree. Let's hang up the stockings. It's October. And I'm not asking you to do that, but there are little things that you'll start to see that literally you can do right now. For example, you know, you're going to the store next week. Why don't you grab some holiday cookies? You know you're gonna need to wrap presents. Can you buy tape? Can you buy wrapping paper? Can you make sure you have your scissors and ribbon and all that stuff ready to go? And so it's like when you go through worksheets like this, it kind of gets your mind spinning. Like I could literally go and get that stuff taken off of my plate right now. And yes, it is October, but can you imagine just doing little bitty tiny stuff like that starting now throughout the month of November? It's going to feel like such a relief, and you are going to thank yourself in December when a lot of those little tiny tasks have been removed off your plate, and you're going to thank yourself because it's going to feel easy to have, 5 to 6 weeks to take those little tasks off your plate instead of 5 days. I'm just saying. Okay. So now that we've talked about this, I think that, hopefully we're on the same page and you guys know that this is important, and hopefully you guys know that since we're using somebody else's checklist, somebody else's framework, that's literally the brunt of the work. I hope that you guys will get started on it early. All right, guys, here we are. This is just my computer. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Google Chrome, and I'm going to type in Flylady Holiday Control Journal. This is the control journal that I used last year that I felt like it was super simple, super straight to the point, and I will be using it again this year. Literally, it's the first link, and if you notice here, it's a PDF. So just go ahead and get that open. And then you can download this, you can print this, and what I recommend is, okay, come on, internet. So there it is, Flylady. You do not have to be on the Flylady system to use this. I have my own modified version of the Flylady system. I use Peaceful Homekeeping, which is basically the Flylady system, but I tweaked it to work really well for me in my life with small kids. But yep, this is what the journal looks like. You can print this. If I were you, I highly suggest hole punching it and putting it into a binder so that you can keep everything, all your records, all your plans in one place, because that's the last thing you want to do is be scrambling and looking for stuff when you're feeling like the crunch. So on here, she just talks about the game, which I think is a good thing to strive for. She just says to pretend like you have a cruise on December 1st, girl. And can we go ahead and get all of this stuff done before your cruise so that when you come back from your cruise, I don't know when they come back from their cruise actually. When they come back, I'm thinking like the week before Christmas, everything is ready to go. All your arrangements, all your preparation is done. And so basically that really encourages us to like get a move on in November. Like don't wait till December to get this stuff done. And so that's the game that they play. And you can do that if you want to. Here, she just gives you some tips for getting your home together. Like I said, you don't have to do it this way. You can have whatever homekeeping system works best for you, but this is just a good strategy for those who feel overwhelmed with the homekeeping on how to kind of get out of that spiral, how to get out of that loop. And I also talk about that on my channel. If you guys are interested in how I do it, just look for the playlist, the Peaceful Homekeeping Challenge, and I break it down step by step how I try to not feel overwhelmed with the homekeeping and the home management with all these kids. So anyway, next she talks about getting a routine set up. Once again, you can do it this way or you can do it whatever way works best for you, but this is where things get really nice. Here she talks about how to start thinking about traditions. This was really helpful to me to kind of cut through a lot of the overwhelm for me. When I just see like little simple frameworks like this, you guys, it just helps me out so much because it eliminates all the options and it helps me focus and narrow down like what I'm supposed to be doing. So basically just trying to think about traditions and playing up to your sight, playing up to the sounds you want your family to remember, the feelings that you want them to remember, the taste that you want them to remember, the smells, what things are you going to do as a family that you want them to remember, and so on and so on. and then listing that stuff out. And so here she has lots of ideas that you can use that are easy to do, affordable. So you can kind of go from here, or you can watch some of your favorite YouTubers and see what they're doing that you wouldn't mind implementing into your life. But it really just cuts out the mysteriousness of creating traditions for those who feel like it has to be this overwhelming thing. No, it doesn't. Here she just has more tips. And then this is where things get fun, where you can literally have space to list out what you want to do. What foods are you going to be eating? For me, usually we order out every year for those of us who do not have food allergies, which is all the adults. And then for my kids, I usually do some type of like baked chicken, because I don't want to give them a whole turkey that they're not going to eat. So I make it a chicken. I give them like stuffing. I make rice, and I have like some types of desserts. So that's probably what's going to go on my list. Decorations, once again, we don't have to be doing all the things. Obviously, I'm gonna have a tree for me. Last year I experimented with putting ribbon into my tree to like make it pop, so I'm gonna do that again this year. I have a wreath that I want to hang up. I did this thing where I wrapped some garland all the way down my stairs, where I put bows on it. That was simple. I got the garland from the Dollar Tree, and I actually got that idea from a YouTuber, and I just did my own version, which was a little cheaper. And so I'll probably do that again. And I want to challenge myself to just get bigger and better every year with the decorations. So I'll probably think of some new stuff to add. Oh, I forgot to mention I had a stocking. So I'll probably think of like, what are some other decorations? I'll probably go on Pinterest, and I'll probably make me a little mood board to get clarity on what I want to do. So you see how by thinking about it now, I'm like, wait, I said last year I wanted to do something more. So now I've already got my ideas going. I already know that I probably need to spend some time on Pinterest. So if I was writing this out, I probably put a little asterisk right there. Like, hey, what's a new decorating idea we can try this year? What things you want to do with your family? Now, this is one that I certainly need to think about for myself, because I just haven't really put a lot of thought into that. I know that we're gonna bake cookies, but I would totally love to do like have a Christmas bucket list, like things that we're gonna do before the holidays come. And I've never really taken the chance to really think about that stuff. We usually just open presents and eat, but I want to do a little more. Something else I've been thinking about is like doing the pajama picture, like the traditional annual Christmas pajama picture, you know, stuff like that. So if I could just list out a couple of those types of things, that would help. And look, what do you know? There's a space right here. New traditions you might like to add this year. Also, this is just a really easy way to start thinking about what you want to eat. Sometimes, like I mentioned, when you see all the options, that can make things feel overwhelming. But here, what meat y'all gonna eat? Y'all gonna eat a salad or what? What side dishes y'all gonna have? Okay. And then one thing that we don't do, we usually don't do a fancy Christmas breakfast, but that might be something I want to try. We learned of a French toast recipe that the kids really like. I don't make it all the time, so that would probably be a fun thing to do, because it's just different, and I want my kids to feel like, you know, the holidays are special and we kind of go out of the way. And we will be having holiday party, and I mentioned that we order out, but here's some things I might need to think about, like, you know, do I want to have some appetizers? And so now my brain is kind of thinking about what I want to do for that. One thing that I really like about this control journal is she leaves plenty of space here for you to either copy down your favorite recipes, photocopy your favorite recipes, staple your favorite recipes. As I mentioned before, there's nothing worse than feeling like you're ready to be productive, only for you not to be able to find your crap. So go ahead, like I said, put this whole journal into a binder, put your recipes, put everything that you need in one place, so that when the time crunches come, you're not looking for stuff. Like, everything is where it needs to be so that you can execute faster. Once you kind of know what you're gonna cook, you know, the next step is, what are some ingredients that I'll probably want to have? I'll tell you that right here in this section, a lot of your perishable, non-perishable ingredients, you can start getting that stuff early. There's no need for you to wait until December to try to get that stuff. Like, start purchasing that stuff little by little early, so that you can spread out the expense of that Christmas meal. Ooh, also your Thanksgiving meal. You know what? Now that I think about it, you need like 2 of these sheets, one for Christmas and one for Thanksgiving, okay? So start spreading out the expense of that, so you're not having to do a lot of shopping at once. So every week, just try to add a couple of these things to your grocery list. And then here, once again, we're back to the cookies. Put your favorite recipes in here, guys, so that you're not having to scramble at the last minute. And then same thing here, like, what types of ingredients are you gonna need in order to see your plan come to life? This is a section that I really like, just getting you into the mindset of like, what kind of things am I gonna be buying? This is another thing that you don't have to wait until December to do. every week you can sit down and just space out the expense of this. Order a couple of things now. And then this is a great way to keep track of it. This is a part that I really like here. Is it wrapped yet? Okay, girl, do you even have the stuff to wrap it? You know, that's something we can do now. Be prepared to wrap stuff instead of waiting until Christmas Eve. I'm pointing at myself here. Be prepared to wrap that stuff early. So get your little wrapping station set up now. So that you can just spend 15 minutes a week working on that. That's what I did last year, you guys, and that gave me so much relief. Every Wednesday, that was my end of procrastination day. I would set a timer and I would just wrap as many presents as I could for 15 minutes, and then I would put it aside and I wouldn't worry about it until the next week. And it helped me out so much on Christmas because I wasn't stuck with a bunch of presents that I needed to wrap in a short amount of time just to see my kids rip it open the next day. That has happened to me before. I don't want that to happen to y'all. So anyway, she has several sheets where you can kind of keep track of that. Uh-oh, something's going on with my computer. Oh, here we go. And here, are you traveling? You know, have you really thought out about the logistics for that? And then, you know, if you guys follow any type of peaceful homekeeping system, the Flylady system, however, you know that we break down the cleaning in our home. A lot of the deeper cleaning, we break it down into sections, so it's not overwhelming for us. So you can also approach your decorations that way. I'm pretty sure Thanksgiving is on zone 4, so that if you wanted to start decorating for Christmas, literally the week after Thanksgiving is zone 5. That's our living room. So that's when we're going to be, that's a great time to use your zone cleaning time to set up your Christmas decoration, so you don't have to do it all at once. You can literally break it down little by little and then spread out the rest of your decorating throughout the month. And here's just another place for you to keep track of what you're ordering. Is it arriving? Do you guys have any holiday events or functions going on at your school? That's all I'm saying. Are there any deadlines that you need to be aware of in order to ship out packages or ship out, you know, cards? Like, here's a great place to keep track of that so that you don't forget. And that's pretty much it, you guys. That is pretty much it. All right, so that's it. I mean, you know, I feel like I want you guys to have a peaceful, easy Christmas. I don't want you guys to be like frustrated with your family because you're doing all the things at once. And this is such a great resource that will help you get started. I know that there are probably other resources, but, you know, over here, I just like to keep things simple. I like to keep things practical. And so if you guys know any other resources that are simple or practical for busy moms, please share them down below, because even me, you know, I'm always looking to level up. And so if you found value here, can you please do me a favor? Can you do me this little favor? Go ahead and like this video. Just go ahead and like it. That helps my channel out so much. And then also, I know once you kind of get your brain spinning, one thing that I don't want you to do is to feel like you need to start executing all your plans now, to feel like you have to do everything right now. And so in the future, like very soon, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I use my basic weekly plan to make this stuff realistic, to make sure I'm not doing too much in one day, and to just map this out so I just have to do a little bit at a time. And so I do not want you guys to get burned out. I do not want you guys to fall into the trap of writing this long list and feeling like you got to check everything off today. No, don't do that to yourself. You're a mom, you're busy. We ain't got time for that, at least not over here. I'm trying to live that peaceful life. And so I'm going to share with you guys my strategy and how I plan to execute, you know, my Christmas tasks throughout the month of November. So if you want to see that, then definitely make sure that you subscribe so you know when that video is available. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.